And was it, I guess at the time, the passing of Dermot Morgan was such a shock, like genuinely just for everybody, just in terms of the timing and in terms of just the weight of the loss and the fact that the third series had been finished, you know, at that point and was just about to be.
We were still editing it.
Yeah.
Dermot had died, and we were cutting together the last episode, going to America, you know, which was a very odd experience. You know, trying to figure out, is this funny, while you're thinking, oh, Dermot's dead, you know. So it was very very weird.
But it makes that episode it's incredibly poignant then as well, because it's just
accidentally poignant. Yeah.
Well, had there been discussions, would it have gone further, or did you feel, because
no,
the three series was...
My feeling was, once you have Jack dressed as a Nazi, then that's probably the last series. You know.
It ain't over till Jack dressed as a Nazi.
Once you have a hamster riding a bike, then that's probably the last.
It's on the checklist.
Yeah. Well, it's not so much, it's just to me, those things were, you know, the reason Frank was dressed as Nazi in that last episode is because he developed a phobia of not being in enclosed spaces, and as a reach to get a guy in a box, that's pretty desperate. And I just kind of thought, you know, we're going to end up having dream sequences and fancy dress parties, and the whole thing's going to go to hell, and everyone will become bored with the show before they kind of know they're bored. And the one thing I didn't want to do is that the Ghost series, the series where the show has died, but it's still around.
Yeah, jump the shark.
Jumping the shark, yeah. I didn't want to do that. And I felt that if we, and you know, my model was always Fawlty Towers. 12 fantastic episodes. Everyone thinks fondly of it. You know, everyone thinks it's a classic. So, you know, why push your luck?
So after Ted, did you dive straight into something big, or again you were working on?
After Ted, we decided we wanted to do an experiment, which was we really loved the day-to-day in Brass Eye and what Chris was doing. So we thought, I wonder if you can use the same techniques of naturalistic acting and filming style and use them on sketches. And the idea was to take a situation that's completely ridiculous, like a guy in there were one where there was two guys dressed as a cat and a mouse, and they're just in a pub and they weren't talking, they just didn't like each other, and afterwards they get into a big fight on the street, and we kind of, you know, we put it on a long lens and shot it from a distance, so it felt like one of those documentaries about late night drinking, and our idea was if you take a situation like that's ridiculous, and you don't make any jokes, would the ridiculousness of it take on a kind of rolling quality where you start laughing and you can't stop? And I was hoping that what we'd get would be...
This being Big Train.
Yeah. I was hoping what we'd get would be a kind of hysterical laughter after a while, and it was semi-successful. I love Big Train. I'm very pleased with it. But I don't think I was exactly right. I think you need a few gags in there.
Do you think? But that's the thing in the end, is that do you think it will always come back to the traditional sitcom? You know, there's always going to be a place for it. There's always going to be essentially new variations on that theme. There's always going to be a different combination of actors or a situation.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I mean, really, you know, what you're kind of asking is, will it always be thus? And it will. The thing that will happen is a few years will pass. There'll be a lot of terrible sitcoms. Everyone will say the sitcom's dead. Then a really good one will hit. Everyone will go nuts about it. Everyone will try and copy that sitcom. They'll all be shit. And then someone will come along 4 years later, do another sitcom that's completely unlike that one, and it'll all begin again, you know? That seems to be the way that it goes.
If we could pass the mic, and if we could have hands, anyone would care to ask a question of...
This is always a bad moment because no one ever has a question. Oh my God, there is one. Yes.
I just wonder what you're planning next. What have you got?
All the actors, and they're all kind of busy on different things. They're all getting more famous, so it's hard to get them into the same calendar space. So I don't know actually. I'm gonna do a bit of. I might do a rewrite job, which I always enjoy doing. It's kind of easy, and I'm working on a stage adaptation of Lady Killers, the Ealing film. So I'm just trying that out, seeing how it goes.
As we leave tonight,
Do you have a question? There's a little boy down there. I'm just wondering if he has a question.
has he got a question?
I'm always impressed when kids. I'm always happy when kids come. Nothing?
Not really.
You sure?
I'd
Okay.
say, let's bring him up here. And just,
I'm not sure if you remember this, but you put this thing on the DVD of the second series, Hello Friend.
Oh yeah.
What was the idea with that, the inspiration?
Well, that was a friend. Hello Friend is a short film I did about a guy who gets an internet kind of BT box or an Aircom box, and it starts to kind of he starts writing letters of complaint because first of all he can't get a proper connection, and then
It sort of turns into a house or
yeah, the power starts it seems to be sucking power through the computer from the house, and eventually it just drives him insane. What does it do?
No, eventually
It kills his cat, or does it eat cat food?
he starts eating cat food.
Yes. He ends up going, because I was just on the phone to IT guys going insane trying to fix my computer. I remember, and that nudity thing of him being kind of half naked eating cat food comes from me in summer with my computer broken, with a phone like this, naked from the waist down, lying on the floor, taking out a memory thing from my computer, and I don't like opening my computer and doing stuff. I'm not a technical guy, but that's what it was like. It was insane, and then a friend of mine wrote. I've got this friend called Robert Popper, and he's one of these brilliant people who writes funny and creative things just for fun. He doesn't need to be paid. And him and a mate just started for the laugh. Writing to each other as if one was a company who had this product and the other one was complaining about it. And they used to kind of amuse themselves by constantly making the complaints worse. And then the company would write back saying, it's totally normal, don't worry about it. And they just, and I read these letters and I thought they were really funny, and I thought you could structure a short film around these letters. I wanted it to be a bit like, is it 84 Charing Cross Road? Which is a film with Anthony Hopkins where the whole thing is structured in letters back and forth, and it was my high flute and tribute to that,
There was just another thing when I was watching, I was thinking, I don't get that. It was at the very end, you just see the cat jump in the window of the house. I don't understand that.
Oh, it's because he thought the thing, he thought it somehow killed the cat. It somehow destroyed the cat, and at the end you find out, no, the cat was still alive. That's simple. So it was actually, it could be just his paranoia going to work. But thank you for paying so much attention to my short film that no one else has seen.
So, Graham, Tit-Face Linehan, thank you all for coming tonight, and thank you very much, Graham.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Well, my introduction to Father Ted was a very strange one indeed, because I went to see Graham and Arthur, and they handed me a foolscap page with a whole lot of expletives written on it, more than I actually ever got to say in the thing. And that's a bewildering manuscript to be handed. And they said, would you just say those things? Would you shout them, you know? And I did, and I kind of put a bit of an accent on it. And then they looked at each other, and then they looked at me, and they said, will you do it? I said, do what? Because I didn't know what they were talking about at all. I had no idea that this was a character, really, you know? And then, later on, very strangely, it transpired that they had decided in advance that they were definitely using me in the series anyway. So it was an extraordinary interview, really. Because normally you have to read a whole lot of text and characterize something. But they had decided they were having me before that. So nothing's ever come to me that way since, at all. It was a very happy shoot. I have no unhappy memories of it. Everybody was always in pretty good humor because they were on top of their job. As you know, people are only cranky when they feel inadequate and they can't do their job. So it was a wonderful period in my life, and I don't suppose I'll ever get one like that again. Thank you very much indeed.